Have you ever been there? Mid-sentence, pouring your heart or an important idea out, and suddenly the air goes out of the room. Your voice falters, someone else jumps in, and just like that, your thought, your story, your very presence is dismissed. It's a common experience, a subtle frustration. But beneath that irritation lies a deeper truth. Every time we allow ourselves to be interrupted, every time we whisper sorry and back down, we're not just losing a turn in a conversation. We're performing a silent surrender. We're telling the world and ourselves that our voice, our thoughts, our very presence isn't quite as important as everyone else's. And in that quiet surrender, we lose a piece of our power, our confidence, and sometimes even our sense of self. The Stoics, like Epictetus and Seneca, taught that our words are a reflection of our inner character. If your words are easily taken, it suggests your internal boundaries are weak. Think about what this habit does to your relationships. Do your family members anticipate you're finishing a story, or do they jump in? Does your boss cut you off only to repeat your idea louder? This isn't just rude behavior from others. It's a behavior you've unconsciously trained them to perform. You've taught them that your ideas are negotiable, your stories are secondary, and your emotional space is easily invaded. The cost is high. Chronic feelings of being unheard, resentment that builds under the surface, and the eventual habit of self-silencing. You stop trying. Because what's the point? This is the point where the fear of speaking becomes greater than the fear of being silent. The real emotional wound here is self-invalidation. Every time you default to, "Sorry, go ahead," you are giving away your consent. Epictetus said, "No one can diminish you without your consent." When you apologize for occupying space, you are consenting to be diminished. We need to replace that deeply ingrained, polite yet devastating habit with calm, deliberate authority. It's time to build a verbal armor that protects your essential right to speak. The answer is not shouting, not aggression, and not lengthy arguments. It is calm brevity. The Stoics believed that authority rests in clarity, not volume. We are going to learn 3 deceptively simple words that, when used intentionally, stop interruptions in their tracks and draw the attention back to you like a magnet. These words serve 3 functions: to gain attention, to define priority, and to anchor presence. The first word is listen. When you utter this word, the human brain instantly receives an orienting signal. It is wired to pause, to focus, and to prepare for a moment of necessary information. Imagine a meeting swirling with arguments. You don't need to raise your voice or slam the table. You simply pause, make eye contact, and say clearly and calmly, "Listen." Here's the final key point. The chatter fades, not because you're angry, but because you've deployed a subtle, powerful command that our instincts are trained to obey. It declares without asking that your words hold value. The second word is important. Interruptions happen because the interrupter believes, in that moment, that their thought is more urgent than yours. They assume your point can wait. The moment you deploy this word, that assumption collapses. You shift the hierarchy of the conversation. You create weight. Neuroscience shows that when something is consciously labeled as important, the mind immediately prioritizes it. If someone cuts in, instead of just repeating your idea, you assert, "The important detail is this: or the important detail I was about to share changes the entire strategy. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself to hold to what is necessary, not what simply creates noise. By using this word, you are no longer competing for attention. You are defining where attention belongs. This isn't arrogance, it's clarity. The third word is now. Later is easy to ignore. Tomorrow can be postponed, but now demands immediate presence. When you say now, you anchor attention in the only moment that truly exists. Seneca reminds us that while we are not masters of the past or the future, the present is our only true possession. Imagine you're interrupted mid-thought, and you see the other person's eyes drift. Instead of shrinking, you say, "Yes, but now, let me finish this point." The interrupter halts because now is non-negotiable. It pulls them back into reality with you. Coaches, leaders, and effective commanders rely on this word. A general doesn't say soon, he says now. This word replaces their momentum with your own, short, sharp, and undeniable. Now that you have your tools, we must address the silent self-sabotage, the conversational trap that destroys all three words instantly. That trap is the word sorry. Think about how many times you've been interrupted and responded, almost without thinking. Sorry, go ahead. It feels polite. It feels safe. But beneath that polite veneer, you are doing something devastating. You are asking permission to exist in the conversation. Every time you say sorry in that context, you tell the other person, "My occupying of this conversational space was an error. You were right to correct it." Your influence vanishes. In a professional setting, the room sees you as background noise. In a relationship, your partner registers that your feelings or story matter less. You have trained them to step over your voice. The true danger of sorry isn't weakness in a single moment. It's the slow, invisible erosion of your presence and self-worth over time. We need a replacement phrase that is equally brief, equally simple, but expands your voice instead of shrinking it. The simple, powerful alternative to sorry, go ahead is, "Listen, there's more." This is an elegant, non-hostile redirection. Let's break down its power. Listen. Word 1 instantly demands their attention. There's more. Declares that your thought is not finished and that what's coming next is substantive. It carries weight. Imagine a friend interrupts your story with their own anecdote. You lean slightly forward, maintain eye contact, and calmly state, "Listen, there's more." They pause. You've just reminded them that your voice is not noise, it is substance. You've reclaimed the moment with calm authority. This is the discipline of speech the Stoics preached, the ability to direct silence back to yourself. This isn't about winning an argument, it's about establishing integrity in your communication. These words, however, only work when they are supported by a foundation of calm authority. Your non-verbal communication is the vessel that carries the weight of your words. The pause. When you are interrupted, resist the instinct to rush to your own defense. Instead, pause. A brief 2-second silence after the interruption draws attention. It's the visual equivalent of hitting a conversational break. Eye contact. Do not avert your gaze. Hold strong, steady eye contact with the interrupter. This tells them, without words, "I see you, but I am not yielding." Physical grounding. Do not fidget, shrink your shoulders, or look down. If you are sitting, plant your feet firmly. If you are standing, maintain a solid, still posture. Your body must declare, "I am here and I am not moving." Seneca often wrote about the power of tranquility. When you are interrupted, your impulse is often frustration. But if you can remain tranquil, your stillness becomes your power. Your calm is the anchor that pulls the chaotic attention of the room back to you. The interrupter's urgency crashes against your tranquility, and tranquility always wins. To truly master this, we must understand the other side. Interruption often stems from 4 psychological roots, and rarely from malice. Excitement, impulsivity. They believe they have an important point and are too excited to wait. This is where important works best. Habit comfort. In close relationships, family, partners, interruption is often a bad habit born of comfort, not intentional disrespect. This is where listen, there's more works best. Anxiety, insecurity. They interrupt because they fear they will forget their thought, or they need to assert their relevance in the conversation. Dominance. A clear, conscious attempt to assert control. This is the rarest, but requires the strongest boundary. Understanding this allows you to respond from a place of detached compassion, which is pure stoicism. You are not fighting their character. You are simply correcting their behavior. When you respond with calm, non-apologetic assertion, you are holding a strong boundary for them as well, teaching them a better way to communicate and listen. You are not just mastering your own speech. You are elevating the standard of the entire conversation. Mastering this is not a one-time fix. It is a practice. It requires mindful repetition and discipline. Start small. Micro-commitments. The next time a server interrupts your order or a colleague jumps in on a non-critical point, use just one word. Listen. The 3-second rule. Force yourself to pause for 3 full seconds after an interruption before you say anything. This prevents the immediate unconscious reflex of saying, "Sorry." The unnecessary word, audit. For one day, actively listen to yourself. How many times do you use conversational filler that diminishes your presence, like just, maybe, or I think? Eliminate them. Speak only in clear, direct sentences. Remember the core Stoic lesson. Discipline of speech reflects discipline of thought. As you clean up your language, your thoughts become clearer, your boundaries become stronger, and your presence naturally expands. You will find that people begin to treat your time and your words with more respect, not because you demanded it, but because you embodied it. The unnecessary word audit. For one day, actively listen to yourself. How many times do you use conversational filler that diminishes your presence, like just, maybe, or I think? Eliminate them. Speak only in clear, direct sentences. The ultimate goal of this practice is not just to stop interruptions. It is to achieve clarity and freedom. When you speak with calm authority, you stop wasting energy on resentment and self-doubt. You liberate yourself from the emotional toll of feeling unheard. Clarity, by anchoring your thoughts with important, and now, you force yourself to distill your point to its most essential form. This makes you a more persuasive, efficient, and respected communicator. Freedom. The Stoics taught that true freedom is found in controlling what is within your power. You cannot control whether another person interrupts, but you can control your reaction, your composure, and the words you use to reclaim your space. This is where your power lies. You become unshakable. The moment you realize your worth is non-negotiable, that you don't need to apologize for taking up space, you gain a freedom that changes your life in every domain, at work, in love, and in your relationship with yourself. If this message resonates, it's an invitation to stop the silent surrender, to stop apologizing for your presence, and to reclaim the essential right to be heard. Your words are not separate from your character. Use listen to claim attention, important to define priority, and now to anchor presence. And forever replace the poison of sorry with the powerful assertion, listen, there's more. You are ready. You are worthy. Now go speak. If this has empowered you, hit the like button. Let me know in the comments, what is the one situation where you will practice listen, there's more this week? Subscribe to join our journey toward mastering ourselves and living an unshakable life.